Yo, what's going on, everybody? This video, I'm going to be telling you the seven wonders of the world. My last video was the seven wonders of the ancient world, but there are seven new ones that we consider modern. All right, here's a little map, by the way, kind of a bit of a spoiler. Got Chichen Itza in Mexico, Machu Picchu in Peru, Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil, the Colosseum in Rome, Petra in Jordan, the Taj Mahal in India, and the Great Wall of China in China. All right, let's start it off. Petra. Guys, you can clearly tell it's basically a little city built into the side of a mountain. All right, so it's a city in Jordan. It was annexed by the Romans in 106 AD. It was uncovered by a Swiss explorer in the early 1800s. It was the capital city of an Arabian tribe called the Nabateans. And this building right here, which is most commonly referred to as Petra, this like city, was actually just a graveyard, a giant graveyard in these like little doors here, just a bunch of tombs. Chichen Itzin. This building right here is called El Castillo, right? So Chichen Itza or Chichen Itzin is actually like a bunch of buildings, but this is what most people think of when you say Chichen Itza, which is the El Castillo building. It's one of the oldest pyramids in the world. I think it's actually older than the pyramids of Giza, but I could be completely wrong and lying to your face right now. I just don't know. But it's built on the Yucatan Peninsula, which is the same exact location that the asteroid hit, at least according to scientists. They think it hit right there on the Yucatan Peninsula and killed the dinosaurs. So that's kind of cool. It was a very religious place at one point, also a political headquarters at one point, and a military headquarters at another point throughout its history. There's, like I said, there's 20 buildings and 75 roads leading to the center. So it was kind of like a bunch of buildings or like a little city, I guess you could say. And it was Mayan territory. Roman Colosseum, probably the most popular one on this list. It's the largest amphitheater in the world. Hosted gladiator fights, animal fights, and even naval fights, yada, yada, yada. You guys have heard it before. They flooded the stadium for naval fights under this whole, this little stage, I guess, right here. Under this, so this area is where all the gladiators are stored, all the animals are stored. It had a bunch of training rooms, uh, some gyms. So it was built with stone and concrete. And in this last picture, you can see that this half is removed. So this wall used to go all the way around, and same right here. This used to go all the way around, but the stone was stolen. I forget which year the stone was stolen, but people broke it off and stole it. Uh, it was built under Emperor Vespasian in 80 AD, and not to be confused with ADHD. Fucking retarded. Okay, the bottom of the Colosseum held weapons, fighters, and training gyms. All right, Great Wall of China. Here it is, long as crap. So over 13,000 miles long. Although if you look it up, it might say 2,000, but they're just talking about one specific section of the wall. The entire wall in its entire length is 13,000 miles long, which is literally half the equator. But clearly, it does not go obviously around the equator. It's bendy, so this makes up for distance, right? Like it shoots out here. So they combine all this stuff, and if you were to put it end to end in a straight line, it would be 13,000 miles long. Although its sheer length is kind of intimidating, this wall didn't really do a single thing to hold off the Mongolians. This wall was built to defend China from the Mongolians, but they basically just climbed the wall. It's in a mountainous area anyway, so it wasn't even that hard. Uh, According to Chinese myth, though, this wall's layout is based off a dragon's body, which is kind of cool. Like you can kind of see here, it's like very scaly and windy and bendy, and here'd be like a dragon's like, bumps and stuff, and it'd go all throughout. So people think that they built this wall basically off of a dead dragon's body, right? Like it would be like a dragon stretched out, and the wall would replace the dragon. You guys get what I'm saying? But rice flour was used to keep the bricks together. It's very sticky, especially when wet, and it's still holding up to this day. So it's better than most concrete, most modern methods. Christ the Redeemer, my man Jesus Christ. Someone commented on my Greek gods video that they didn't like the fact that I said Jesus was the only God. And to that I say Jesus is the only God. What are you going to do about it? Built with 6 million soapstone tiles, which a lot of them have messages on the back, obviously written in Portuguese because this is Brazil. Basically, like praying for people or blessing the stone, blessing this sculpture, right? It only cost 250,000 USD to build, but it was built in 1931, so adjusted for inflation, you get the idea. It's probably closer to like 2 million. It gets struck by lightning between 3 and 6 times per year, which is a lot. You hear the saying all the time: lightning does not strike twice in the same spot. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. This building is a prime example of that. Lightning broke one of the fingers, I think in 2012 or something. Right here, you can kind of tell it's a bit chipped right there. They replaced it though, so nothing to worry about. But it does attract over 12 million people per year. Next up, Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu, right? This giant area built on a mountain was an Incan uh, facility, an Incan religious center, right? That was built in the Andes Mountains, which is about 7,700 feet high. It was built during the peak of the Incan Empire, so at its largest extent with its most members, but it was deserted less than 100 years later. So not even a full two generations could actually live and be here and explore this area because they were wiped out by the Spanish. So it took less than 100 years uh, for this place to become fully, what's the word, deserted. Like I said, it was a religious center, so whatever gods the Incans praised or whatever. But because it was built so high up, the Spanish never knew it was there. If they had known it was there, most likely it would have been completely destroyed, just as all the other buildings of the Incan Empire were. Next up, the Taj Mahal, one of the most beautiful buildings the world has ever seen. Right. So, because it's so pretty, right, you may be asking, well, why is it so pretty? It's objectively pretty. It's literally a fact that this is pretty. It's so symmetrical. It's one of the most symmetrical structures in the whole world, right? Okay, so even though it is in Agra, India, right, which is a primarily Hindu country, it's actually a mosque. It's an Islamic structure, right? It was built in honor of a Mughal emperor's wife in 1653. This was built in 1653. Look how preserved and pretty it is. So, it is a mosque, only on one side though. One side is an actual fully functional mosque that you can go to pray, but the other one on the other side is completely vacant. It was literally only built to keep this symmetrical. All right, it costed 32 million rupees, which in US dollars is about $5. That was a joke, by the way. And I'm part Indian, so you can't call me racist. Anyway, elephants were used to carry supplies. That'll do it. Thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing or don't. It's fine if you don't.